We say a bunch of times, I know God can do this without me, but I don't want him to. I don't want to miss the blessing. I want to be a part of this. I don't want to just have the t-shirt, man. I want to be part of the thing. And we mistake so often the nodding of the head for the doing of the thing. It's like, oh, it's tough. Somebody ought to do something about that. We can do something about that. You can do something about that today. Even our little bit goes, look, a little is a lot for people who have nothing. And we are so blessed, and we are blessed to bless. And so I hope you'll join us in doing that today.
Hey there, it is Faith Talk Today. I'm Rick Probst. Hope you are having an amazing Atlanta weekend. It is a day of hope, by the way. We're doing something special. We love these guys from Save the Children. Scott Wilder with us, and we're going to talk about how we can save severe, acute, malnourished children. Here's Scott Wilder. Scott, how are you?
I'm very well. Thank you. It's great to be with you, Rick, and to see what we can do. We have a little tiny window to do a really big thing, but it's always fun when everybody does a little bit. We say many times, it's not about how much, it's about how many. It's not about how much any one person gives. It's about how many of us will raise our hand and say, I can do something. I'll do something. I can't do everything, but I can do something. And so we're excited about it again. And I love just I'll use a salesy word, synergy. The guys on the other side of the cubicle area use that word a lot, synergy, but it does feel like that, where 1 and 1 is 3, where we come together and you do a little bit and I do a little bit, and all of a sudden it becomes a lot more than it would be if we were just on our own. So it's exciting. It's always good to do it. And it's also a reminder that, this is not one world. I've been there. I've been over there, and I've seen that. And sometimes we lose sight of that here because we're here all the time, and we lose the sight of our blessings because we see them all the time. And then we start comparing our blessings to other people's blessings, and all of a sudden we're a little bit down, and we think, oh gosh, I'm not blessed. But when you compare it to reality, that's when you say, wow, we're so blessed. And so we're excited today to be able to share a little bit and make a difference, and not just talk about it, but to be able to do something together. So we're excited. Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, let's do it. It's a day of hope with Save the Children, and Scott Wilder with us. When I opened, I said about severe acute malnutrition. That's something that we've never experienced. Obviously, what is that to us that need kind of a picture?
Sure, it's a really good question. What is severe acute malnutrition? First of all, it's a medical state. It's not just hunger. It is what it comes as a result of hunger not met over a long period of time. Think of it like a severe dehydration. If someone were really severely dehydrated, you couldn't just throw them a bottle of Dasani and say, hey, drink this, you'll be okay. Sip it a little bit and you'll be fine. At some point, you do extraordinary things. You have to do IVs and all kinds of things that are going on. It's the same way with a severe acute malnutrition, SAM, severe acute malnutrition, because they can't take in regular food. I mean, we're talking about, I spend time with children younger than 2 on the continent of Africa that are suffering from severe acute malnutrition. They cannot ingest or digest regular food. So we're not talking about today feeding a hungry child. We're not talking about life-enhancing nutrition. We're not talking about life even sustaining nutrition. We're talking about life-saving nutrition. And this comes in the form of something that his international community refers to as an RUTF, ready-to-use therapeutic food. Therapeutic, medical, right? RUTF, ready-to-use therapeutic food. And one of those, the name brand of it is Plumpy Nut. And Plumpy Nut is a peanut-based paste. It comes in a little foil pack, smaller than the size of your hand, and you just tear off the corner like you would if it were salad dressing at the drive-through, and you squeeze it right into the mouth of a child suffering from severe acute malnutrition. I've done it myself, and they can ingest it, they can digest it. It's really a miracle food. So today, people should know that if you wanted a metric, that's what we're talking about is severe acute malnutrition. What is the fix for that? RUTF in this form, it's going to be Plumpy Nut. How do we do that? $60 in a one-time gift can provide enough of that emergency nutrition and medication to save the life of one child. 60, one child. And so more does more, obviously. $300 can help save 5, and $600 can provide enough to save 10, and 6,000 can provide enough to save 100. But if everybody does a little bit, it all adds up. So that's severe acute malnutrition. It's serious. What does it look like? It is sort of the quintessential, if you thought of a starving child in Africa, and you thought of their bellies are distended, that doesn't mean they're full. And what that means is there is a war going on in their little bodies. The organs are blowing up and fighting each other, and it's eating off sorry to be graphic, but you're eating off your whatever body fat is there. There's sort of the jawline that is razor sharp, and the little tiny neck that can't hold up her head, and the ribs that are exposed, and the changing of the color of the skin, kind of blotchiness that comes, and the hair falls out, and the eyes have a lightless and a lifelessness to them. But honestly, this plumpy nut, it doesn't need to be refrigerated. It doesn't need to be administered at a hospital. It's only been around 18 years. And it's a game changer. What it does is it brings a kid back from the brink of death. And I've seen it myself, been a party to it myself. And that's what you can provide today with something as simple as $60. Even a $30 monthly gift could help over time, obviously. That's less than $1 a day. I think of that a lot. This $30 is kind of a good number. You do anything, you do 12 by 12, $12 a month, but $30 is just less than $1 a day, and it kind of competes with my streaming services. And I think, gosh, if I do that, maybe I could do this too. So we invite you to do it anyway. The Lord leads you to do it. That's the right way, not the way I say. So we're excited about whatever the Lord wants to do through you today. So you pick up the phone, you call the number. It's very easy to do. You dial pound 250 and say the keyword Save the Children. Dial pound 250, say the keyword Save the Children. Let's see it there on the scroll, or you can go online and you can click on it at FaithTalkAtlanta.com.
Scott Wilder with us from Save the Children. It is the day of hope. And don't you just love technology? In fact, I dialed it the other day to make sure that I know I had it in my hand so that I could speak intelligently about this, because sometimes it's that hashtag there. People think that it's a text. So at 6063, I said, okay, I'm going to try this out to make sure that we get the information across. And believe me, it's so easy that even a talk show host can do it. I did it. It's pretty amazing. So we want to help these the starving, the severely acute malnourished children like we have every year. We love doing this because we're saving lives, as Scott said. Scott, you said you've seen it yourself. You've given Plumpy Nut, which is like a peanut paste plus, right? It's not like the jar in my pantry back here, but it's something that just energizes and feeds their body the necessities, the nutrients that they need. How does that make you feel to see something so simple, because of people's thing, can save a child or children?
It really is humbling. I mean, when you go and you see it, it's stark. I've always felt like, for those of us who have the opportunity to go and see, we have an obligation to come and tell. Everything I've seen in my vast trips around the world, I've done it many, many times. It's a total waste if it's only so that I have some good pawpaw stories or granddad stories to tell grandkids someday. It's a waste, if I don't come back and do something with that. And so I've always felt like that if I could take a listener or anyone and say, hey, come and go with me. I want you to see what I saw. I promise if we came back together, I wouldn't be able to get a word in edgewise. At every gathering, you would be elbowing me out and say, let me tell you what I saw. Let me tell you what we can do. Recently we had in Dallas, in my home state of Texas, we had horrible storms. They went out at 6:54 something on a Tuesday morning, didn't come back until Saturday evening. You talk about having an appreciation for electricity. Man, when that came back on, I was like, hey, I can put stuff in the fridge. I can charge my stuff up. When I've traveled to Seattle recently, and you see the beautiful mountains, and you want to shake people and say, do you pay attention to this? I know you drive every day, but do you notice how beautiful this is?
Mm-hmm.
And I go to the Northeast in September and October, and I want to say, it's true. The pictures don't do it justice. Your fall foliage is unbelievable. Please appreciate this. And I bring those really three examples up because I want to say that to us now about our blessings. We are blessed, and it's hard to see it in the middle of it maybe, but when you compare it to reality, when you compare fall foliage in the Northeast to an autumn in Texas, when you compare the mountains in the Pacific Northwest to the flatness of Texas, you see what it really is. You have an appreciation for it. And in the same way, our blessings, if we compare ourselves not to each other, we compare ourselves to all of God's creation. I mean, we say, the world says too, the phrase there, but for the grace of God go I. We say it differently. And if we say that as believers, we should say, then there with the grace of God I go. That could be me. That could be my kids, my grandkids. I don't know why God in his providence and mercy and wisdom and love has me born here and them born there. I'm not better. I'm not good. He doesn't love me more than he loves them. So why have I been blessed this way? Yes, it's because he loves us, but I really believe it's because he trusts us to be him to them. That the blessings are intended not to flow to us, but to flow through us. We're conduits through which those blessings flow. So that's what we have a chance to do. Whenever I've been overseas, it's tough to be over there. Sometimes it's tough to be back here because we're hard to motivate. During the basketball playoffs, I promise you, with Dallas Mavs in, if there's a problem with reception, I'm motivated pretty quick. I mean, in a second, I'm calling somebody. But that's at my comfort. That's my entertainment. And when you talk about this, we should have that be as motivating to us as these things that really don't matter, certainly not for eternity. And today we have a chance to do that, to set it aside and say, yeah, I'm going to do it today. I'm going to save children by providing emergency nutrition again this year with Save the Children.
Scott Wilder with us. It's a day of hope with Save the Children. And thank you, Scott, so much for painting the picture. And we want you to give, guys. It's easy to do. You've given, you've been generous. And, we did such a huge number last year, but there are so many more children that need to be saved. That's why we're asking again.
Yeah, we're not there yet. I mean, when we talk about progress, I mean, it all starts with, we have a very big 1,250 kids at $60 a piece. I mean, that's $80,000. I mean, the best way to do it is for everybody to do something, though. The great thing about being at Fish Atlanta is such a wonderful and faithful and frankly huge audience. But the whole reason, what is the point of being big? What is the point of being strong? What is the point of having knowledge if we don't deploy that for things that matter the most? And so, anybody who loves this radio station, Fish Atlanta, or right here, of course, at FaithTalk Atlanta, I'm the combination, the 1-2 punch of these two is just amazing to be able to do it. So the good news is not everybody can do it. Not one radio station can do it. It takes all of us doing our part. And if we all do our part, it's like the boy with the loaves and the fishes, the boy with the sack lunch. He had loaves and fishes. Who knew there'd be leftovers? I don't think the disciples even knew that each one of them would be carrying a basket full of leftovers. The kid didn't know for sure. But what we have, we offer. What we offer, he receives. What he receives, he blesses. What he blesses, he uses. And you'll be amazed at the leftovers. The bonus that comes when we just share what we're faithful with, what God has blessed us with. So we're blessed to bless, and we're excited to do it again with our great friends at FaithTalk Atlanta.
It's a day of hope with Save the Children. Scott Wilder with us, and it's easy to give. Dial pound 250, and you say the words, Save the Children. It's that easy. Yeah, you can go to FaithTalkAtlanta.com if that's easier for you. Whichever way, and as Scott says, everybody can take part, and it's every little bit counts. And I just want to see, I know that we'll blow this out as we always do, and we'd love to see even more children saved from severe acute malnutrition. Scott, we've got just about a minute or two. Last words before we go.
I would just say don't put it off. The devil's tricky, for me at least. When you put something, when you delay, you get distracted. At least I do. And devil loves that. If you're inclined to do it, the devil's not going to tell you don't do it. Devil's going to tell you do it, but do it later. Do even more, but do it later. Because once you miss the window, once you get distracted, once you delay, you can get distracted. Then you miss the blessing altogether. We say a bunch of times, I know God can do this without me, but I don't want him to. I don't want to miss the blessing. I want to be a part of this. I don't want to just have the t-shirt, man. I want to be part of the thing. And we mistake so often the nodding of the head for the doing of the thing. It's like, oh, it's tough. Somebody ought to do something about that. We can do something about that. You can do something about that today. Even our little bit goes, look, a little is a lot for people who have nothing. And we are so blessed, and we are blessed to bless. And so I hope you'll join us in doing that today.
Yeah, do it today. It is a day of hope with Save the Children. Scott Wilder with us. Dial pound 250 and say, Save the Children. It is that easy. Yeah, I've experienced it. FaithTalkAtlanta.com as well. Scott, always great to hang with you. And we look forward to hearing about the children, again, that are being helped, saved because of the generosity of those that listen, watch us. We certainly appreciate all those folks because you know what? We all work, right? We all have bills, but thank you for your generosity because each and every time you've given beyond even what has been asked. $60 one-time gift, if you pound 250 and say, Save the Children. Well, that's it. It's a wrap with the Day of Hope today. And looking forward to a great week and a great Faith Talk today next weekend. Have a great week. I'm Rick Probst. See ya.